Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 25 of Power Pop Shakers, where I talk about Power Pop new releases and the odd reissue as well. If you go to my channel and click on playlists, you'll find a playlist there called Power Pop Shakers, and you can listen to the tracks that I'm talking about today. Okay, the first track I've uploaded to the Power Pop Shakers playlist is Come On by Fastbacks, and it's from the LP For What Reason on No Threes Records, and it's due out on the 28th of August. The Seattle Legends have been largely inactive since breaking up in 2001, and this will actually be their first album of new material since 1999. I thought, as I'm talking about Fastbacks, I'd show a pretty rare single that came out in the 90s, and it was free with an American fanzine called Gearhead. Next up, it's the Top Taylor Group and the track I Got My Kicks in NW6, and this is a one-sided 7-inch single on the No Campus label. There's only 500 copies being pressed, and these are exclusively available through Rough Trade. The track was recorded back in 1980. The drummer on the session is Paul Bultitude, who'd played with Top Taylor in his previous band Advertising. The multi-talented Taylor is also working on an upcoming feature film and LP called Playtime. His frightfully middle-class vocal tones remind me a little of Neil Tennant, which is a good thing. Next, it's Oasis, and I've uploaded the track Up in the Sky Mono Valley version, and this is taken from the initial Definitely Maybe album recording session at Mono Valley. To me, it sounds better than the released version. The guitars are much sharper, and Liam's vocals are a thing of beauty. It will be included on the 30th anniversary deluxe edition of Definitely Maybe, which is coming out on 4 LP, 2 CD, coloured vinyl and cassette, and will be released on the 30th of August on the Big Brother label. Next, I've uploaded 2 tracks by the Softies, California Highway 99 and I Said What I Said, and they're taken from the LP and CD The Bed I Made on Father-Daughter Records, and it's also available as a cassette on Lost Sound Tapes. It's released on the 23rd of August. It will be the first new studio album from Rose Melberg and Jen Sabragia in 24 years. I find the fragility of their harmonies intensely moving. California Highway 99 in particular evokes the sound of early 70s Laurel Canyon. Next, it's Mary Timony and the track No Thirds, and that's from the LP CD Untame the Tiger on Merge Records. Her guitar playing really hits hard. At times she sounds a bit like Sonic Youth, and at other times almost a Richard Thompson electric folk style emerges. I first saw her live back in the mid-90s and was blown away then, and she simply gets better and better, following her muse rather than chasing chart success. Next, I've uploaded the track Pebble to the Power Pop Shakers playlist, and it's by a band called Laughing, and it's from the LP Because It's True on a Spanish label Meritorio. The band hails from the mini power pop hotbed of Montreal in Canada, and this is their debut album. The jangling guitars scream classic power pop. Next, something that's really special, and it's a debut release by The Chords, and I've uploaded the track Rather Not Stay, and it's from the cassette Boy's New Haircut coupled with Rather Not Stay on Heavenly Creature Records. These are 2 teenage girls from Glasgow, sisters Grace and Eva Tedeschi, and they've produced something very special indeed. It's clearly influenced by C86 indie pop. The chorus on Rather Not Stay is otherworldly. I can see them inspiring a new generation to pick up a guitar and play, and I can't wait to see what they record next. Next, we've got a track by Woolworthy, Break the Law With You. It's a new video for a track from the LP Electric Heartbreak, which was released last November on Boss Tunage. I've mentioned them before in a previous episode of Power Pop Shakers. They are Chicago mini legends who've returned after a break of nearly 20 years. Around the year 2000, I can remember thinking to myself that I was living through a golden age of DIY punk and DIY pop bands, and the return of acts like Fastbacks, the Softies and Woolworthy is certainly confirmation that I was right. Next, I've uploaded 2 tracks by Class to the Power Pop Shakers playlist, First to Finish Last and Just a Worm, and these are from the second 7-inch single in Total Punk's Order of the Dirty Plates Singles Club, and there are just 300 copies that have been pressed. The 4-piece from Tucson, Arizona have left me almost speechless at their skill in taking influences from early UK punk and early US punk and making it relevant in 2024. Next, I've uploaded a track by Brad Marino, D Gas Chevy, and it's from the download EP Hot Rod Rampage, and these are 4 fun tracks in the style of early 60s surf and hot rod rock and roll. Next up, it's the band X, and I've uploaded 2 tracks, Big Black X and Ruby Church, and these are taken from their 9th LP, Smoke and Fiction, on Fat Possum Records, and it follows on from their surprise return in 2020 with the album Alphabet Land. With more energy than most bands 40 years their juniors, the male and female harmonies of Exene Cervenka and John Doe are an absolute joy to hear. Next, I've uploaded the track Favourite Colours by I Was a King, and it's a download from Norway's Jangly Guitar Exponents. Presumably they're working on a new album, but at the moment no details have been released on when that will be coming out. Okay, moving on, we've come to Quivers, and the track I've uploaded is Pink Smoke, and it's from the LP Oyster Cuts on Merge Records. They hail from Melbourne, Australia, and this is their 3rd album, and it's a beautiful melding of melody and guitars. The thing that makes Quivers a band to care about and to fall in love with is Sam Nicholson's lyrics and his personal backstory, and they're getting quite a bit of exposure in mainstream press as well. So for example, this was in last month's Mojo magazine, and they got a 4-star review. Okay, next up, I've uploaded 2 tracks by Tours, Language School and Foreign Girls, and this was a 7-inch single back in 1979 on Tours Records, and it's now been reissued by Bachelor Records. They were an English power pop band that should have been massive. Both tracks really sound to me like top 40 hits. They did actually get to sign with a major label, Virgin, but the band split before anything could be released. Next up, it's Guided by Voices and the track I Am a Scientist 30th anniversary version, and it was originally on the album B1000, and the 30th anniversary version is available alongside a new version of Tractor Rape Chain as a download at the moment, and it will be coming out as a 7-inch single on the 28th of August on the Guided by Voices Inc. record label. Next up, it's a return of another favourite of mine, Kieran Phelan and Peace Signs, and the track Filing System, and it's from the CD The Whole Band Just Turned Mellow, which is due out on the 24th of December on Gare du Nord Records. It includes a tasteful pedal steel guitar from Jack Hayter, who was in the much missed band Hefner. If you're intrigued, go check out Kieran's last CD, Bubblegum Boogie. Next up, something very special indeed, and it's 5-String Serenade by Love, and it's from the LP CD Just to Remind You, which is due out sometime in 2025 on High Moon Records. Before his death in 2006, Arthur Lee put together a CD for his wife of material he'd recorded between 1990 and 2005. His backing band are now embellishing this material ready for release. 5-String Serenade had been released in more rudimentary form back in the early 90s. David Angel, who arranged the orchestration for Forever Changes, has created a new arrangement, and his band Baby Lemonade has created a new musical backing, including a very tasteful guitar solo from Johnny Eccles. The result is a beautiful piece of music. Next up, it's Peter Perrett and I Want to Go with Dignity, and this is the first taster from the 20-track double LP CD The Cleansing, which is due out on the 1st of November on Domino Records. This track I think is the equal of anything that he recorded with the Only Ones. And one of the best gigs I've ever seen in my life was when the original 4-piece lineup of the Only Ones got back together, and I saw them in a small club, and they were on great form. Next, It's John Howard and 2 tracks, Currently and I Am Not Gone, and this is available as a download. The 2 tracks helped stake his claim for me to stand alongside artists of the calibre of Paul McCartney and Elton John. His debut album, A Kid in a Big World, came out in 1975 on CBS and just fell through the cracks at the time. But it got a reissue in 2003, and following that there was a lot of interest in him, and he managed to start a recording career again, and he's been releasing records quite regularly now for the last 20 odd years. Go check him out on the Power Pop Shakers playlist. I think it's both tracks are really excellent. Okay, and that's it for now. I will see you again soon. Take care.